Hey everybody, welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And we have a special guest with us today, Mary. Who might that be?
Absolutely. We have a very talented and creative son that is going to be visiting with us today.
And he is calling in remotely from
Florida.
Yes. He is. A little different area down there for growing.
Northern Florida.
Yeah, so we'll be talking to him about a couple little things that he's got going.
Yep, that's right.
But first, before we do that, Mary, what's new in the garden?
Well, this week we had a lot of fun because one of our grandkids came over and we went tromping around the little kitchen garden, and she got an entire bowl full of peppers, tomatoes, one Italian zucchini, casello, I think is the name of that one, and tomatoes, whether they were ripe or not.
Nice. Shop in the garden.
Picked.
I like it.
And this week we also had one strawberry. We got a strawberry. I'm very excited.
One whopping strawberry. All right. Hey, it's something. A little shopping trip with the granddaughter in the garden. That was pretty fun.
That's right. And then we cooked it, and it was delicious. Oh, and I forgot. She actually picked 3 of our Chinese yard-long beans.
Yes.
And they were delicious.
Very
were excellent.
Nice. All right.
So, Greg, have you grown those before? The yard-long beans?
I have, and we actually we have a whole, almost like a wall of them growing right now on the trellis, and we didn't even plant them this year. They just seeded themselves from last year.
Oh, Greg, that's awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I think we saw them. We were there last time, over there on the side of the house.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Very nice.
That's awesome.
I think my only new, I'll throw out my my infrastructure-y thing, is I cut some wood. Did a little wood cutting to help with your...
Superbly.
Yeah, for your raised bed garden.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that was the extent. That was the extent of my gardening, I think, for this week, unfortunately. You did a lot. You got out there and did a lot of cleanup and weed pulling and planting, but very good.
Very nice.
All right. Well, we do have our special guest on today. We have Greg down in Florida. And Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's exciting. Very happy to be here.
Yeah. And I know.
Ready to learn some stuff.
Well, we're hoping to learn from you.
We're hoping to learn from you.
I think we have a few things we wanted to ask you. So, Mary, what was the first item that you wanted to talk about?
Greg is, like I said, so very creative, and he can turn his hand to anything that he sets his mind on. And he decided to build would you call it a natural aquarium, Greg? Perhaps?
Yeah. Yep.
And
natural aquarium.
A natural aquarium. And it is quite stunning. I've shown the photo of it to several of my groups of friends, and they are astounded. They're astounded that you have built it. And so I was wondering if you might tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, like what? For me personally, I'd like to know what is a natural aquarium?
So a natural aquarium is just mimicking nature. So if you think about a forest, the forest floor is just the accumulation of leaves and things that are constantly being composted over time. And so a natural aquarium is just doing the same thing same thing that would happen at the bottom of a pond or a lake. So the draw for me was I didn't have to buy a bunch of filters or change water, or it's like almost zero maintenance.
Wow.
So you kind of just start with the dirt layer, and then you let the plants and fish do what they would do in nature.
Do you have anything on top of the dirt layer that, how does it not become muddy?
Yeah, so you start, there's different blends that you can do. Father Fish is who I went with. I bought the soil mix that he uses that comes with all the nutrients you would need to kind of kickstart it. So you want about 2 inches of that substrate, that dirt layer, and then you cap it with an inch of gravel or, I think we use sand, like a coarse aquarium sand.
Oh,
So that keeps the soil kind of packed down, keeps it from getting muddy and cloudy. Um, and it gives something for the plants to hold on to.
interesting. Okay.
So there's what is
Mhm.
there is so is there there's that, and then there's a layer of water with fish in it? Is that right?
Yeah, so I have a 30-gallon tank. It's about 18 inches tall, I think 18 inches. So you have the 2 layers of soil, the 1 layer of cap sand. The rest of it is just the water column, which you fill. You kind of want to pack it with plants, because that's really what keeps the little micro ecosystem you're creating alive. So you feel, I believe it's 60% plants. You want a ton.
Interesting.
You want it to be like a jungle. And then you just, I didn't go by a calculation, but you want enough fish to feed the biomass in the soil for the plants to draw nutrients from. And then the plants, do their thing, and I think they help filter the water out, because we don't run a filter in it, and it stays clear.
Wow.
So it is just like zero maintenance. And if you check out Father Fish, he even talks about it. Like, you should never change your water because you're getting rid of all those good, microorganisms that you're creating. So all I do is top it off when it, gets down a couple inches. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's scud when I do have to run a filter every once in a while. Like, I'll just drop the filter in for an hour or two, but there will be scuds and baby snails and all these things that we didn't add.
Whoa.
They just got in there.
Wow, that's really cool.
So many years ago, when you were a very tiny young boy, we had an aquarium, but we had plastic plants and we had your typical store-bought pirate ship down in the bottom of it. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that these plants are definitely not plastic plants. So how do you know what to put in your natural aquarium or where to get it?
So we're pretty fortunate. We have a big aquarium store here, and they just have tons of tanks full of live plants that we can buy.
Oh.
And we started with Anubis, which is like a smaller, slower growing, almost like a broadleaf plant.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the other ones, but we added in some stemmy plants that get tall fast. They grow very fast.
Oh.
So we just started with those. We just started with stuff that we kind of thought looked cool in a mix of things that grow short and things that grow fast and tall. And then you can propagate them like any other plant. As they grew, we would clip them and replant the clipping, and it would root. So I think we've had it for about 6 months now, and I would say every 2 weeks, I have to trim the plants because it is like a jungle.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And when you're saying the taller plants, do they actually come out of the water, or are they taller in proportion to the level of the water?
Some of them will, once they hit the surface of the water, will start going horizontal. So they'll go right across. Like guppy grass is one that we got, and you don't even have to plant it in the soil. It will grow floating in the water column. And that got, a couple feet long, some of the pieces that I had to trim.
Wow.
Yeah. And then a couple of them do grow maybe a couple inches out of the water, but for the most part, they stay submerged. And then we do have golden pothos
Oh my
that
goodness.
we planted to the log. You kind of have a log that comes out of the water as like a little feature. And we have moss that we got from our backyard around trees on that to kind of hold moisture for the pothos.
Oh,
And I believe my wife put monstera. We have a little monstera also growing in it.
Oh, how fun.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what kind of does it matter what kind of fish you have? Do you just have some little guppies or?
We we started with tetras. You do have to be careful with fish, which I'm still learning, because some fish just don't get along. We have some, can't remember, some sort of silver danio, which are pretty cool. They get about
beautiful.
2 inches long, maybe. And then we have some skunk botia, which are cool because they eat snails. So we had 1,000 snails in there, and they were killing,
Oh,
like
wow.
eating the plants and eating
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
So the skunk botia keep the snail population low. And then we have a couple like little catfish that cruise around the bottom and eat algae.
Huh.
Nice.
So they kind of keep the tank clean. Yeah.
That's pretty good, like a little ecosystem there. That's
Yeah.
neat. Oh,
It really is. And I don't know where the stuff came. Like I said, the scuds and stuff, there's just food in the water columns. I've seen like little worms. And the fish can probably go indefinitely without me ever adding food. I feed them maybe once a week.
Oh,
wow.
my.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't even mess with it because they're full, I guess, from whatever the ecosystem's created.
Oh, my goodness. This is, I think I might like to build one of these.
Yeah, it
This
sounds pretty
very
cool.
exciting.
I think we should give it a
So,
try.
let me ask you that. So you have a pothos and a monstera, and they require some sources of light. So do you have a light system, or is it okay to be just in, a low light situation? I don't know. Describe that part of it.
We do have. I use LED aquarium lights that are also the right spectrum for growing plants.
Mm-hmm.
We got ours on Amazon. They were not expensive, maybe like $15 a piece, and they're probably more than we need for our 30-gallon tank. But I also have the tank set up in an area of that little room we have a grow light over our fiddle fig. So
Oh,
the terrestrial plants also get a little extra light from that on top of the grow lights in the aquarium.
interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is great. I would love to. Yeah, I might like to do
Yeah, we got.
this.
I think
This
we have to
sounds
look into it.
really
We'll
exciting.
have to get Greg Cole and help us set one up. But
Absolutely,
that actually sounds
absolutely.
pretty cool.
And can I ask about when you do the water? Do you have to be careful? Can you just get it right out of your tap, or do you have to do anything special to the water?
Yeah, I add. It's called Prime. It's a water conditioner, so it dechlorinates the water.
Mm.
Our water here in Jacksonville is heavy, like it smells like a pool coming out of the tap.
Wow.
So I do add that, but I'm not doing full water changes. So I'll add a cap full, which is, I think, good for 50 gallons. And I'm really only adding maybe 4 or 5 gallons at a time when I'm topping it off.
Interesting.
So outside of that, I don't treat the water. I don't do anything unless I make a mess when I'm trimming the plants and get it really cloudy. I'll run a little foam filter with an air pump, just a really cheap little setup. I'll let that run for maybe an hour, but the stuff settles out on its own really quickly.
Wow. All right, I got to ask you my favorite thing. Can I put a frog in there?
Oh yes, can you put
I'm a frog
in
guy.
You can. They have like fully aquatic frogs that there's micro frogs, there's
What?
micro crabs,
Oh, that's
there's
cool.
tiny
Okay.
shrimp.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
there's
ask you, did you do the shrimp things?
we didn't do shrimp because I think the Danios were picking them off. So
Oh.
we tried 5 shrimp and the shrimp did okay, but from everything I've read, it's better to have an established tank. So we did that maybe 2 months after we started the tank.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're 6 months in and the ecosystem is kind of stable, we could probably introduce them now, but the skunk bothia and the Daniel would probably eat them
Oh,
because they're
really?
aggressive.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so it kind of depends on the fish that you have too. But you can do an all shrimp and frog and crab tank. They even have crawfish, like little tiny freshwater
Oh,
crawfish.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool. Now I definitely have to
That
look at it.
sounds like
I like
it's
my
up
frogs.
Daddy's
so.
alley.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right, cool. Well, Greg, thanks for updating us on the Natural Aquarium. I didn't know anything about it. So now I'm going to switch subjects on you. We talked either the last podcast or the one before. We told everyone that you have chickens down there, and I was going through, and what I had kind of did some reading. I said, they'll eat any ticks or anything that are in the yard, and I know that you guys picked up a few of those. Can you update us on your chicken population?
Yeah, so we started with 2, and then 2 days later, I went back and got 2 more baby chicks. So we have 3 buff Orpingtons and 1 golden lace Wyandotte.
Wow.
So I think they're about 4 weeks old now, and it's crazy how fast they grow. Like they've doubled in size, and the brooder that we have them in, they're like, as soon as I take the little mesh lid off, they jump on me out of the brooder. So I'm like trying to wrangle them and get them in so the dog doesn't try. It's pretty crazy. So it's been pretty cool. They have their own little personalities. Each one, you can tell. I thought maybe the buff Orpingtons were all identical. We wouldn't know which one was which, but you definitely can tell which one is which. They are unique.
Yes.
Very nice. So when they get a little bigger, I know you have a dog too, but are you gonna? They will pick up a lot of the stuff, the bugs and stuff in your yard. If you let them run around out there for a little bit, they may help out. I know down in Florida that you guys tend to have a little bit more of that problem than we have, but so that's cool. You'll have to keep us updated and as they get bigger. I know we had chickens a long time ago. They do get really big really fast. They go from the cute chick to the big chicken.
Did the gentleman at the store that you got your chicks, did he decide whether they were girls or boys? Do you know if you have all girls or all boys? I mean, what the ratio is?
I mean, they were pre-separated. We got them from the group that said that they were females, but I guess I won't know for sure.
Yeah.
For a couple weeks. But in Jacksonville, we're not allowed to have a rooster, but the feed store we got them is actually a rooster rescue. So if one of them ends up being a rooster, we can bring him over there.
Oh, nice.
And will you have colored eggs? Do they have different colors of eggs?
No, these aren't colored egg layers. I believe they're all brown egg layers.
That's good.
We were going to get an Easter egger, but we decided to go with the ones that have the best temperament for our
absolutely.
First chickens.
Yeah. I did want to tell you, I wanted to pass this along to you, but one of the ways that you can increase the omega-3 fatty acid inside the eggs that they lay is by sprouting and then fermenting the mash that you give them, the seeds and the grain. And I know that you are an exceptional, you know how to do fermenting vegetables and you've made your own beer. And so you probably understand a lot of that process already. And it'll help increase the omega-3 fatty acids in there and your eggs.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. I'll definitely check that out, see how to do that. We're feeding them black soldier fly larvae.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I mean, yes.
Big grub-looking things. I think that's also supposed to help, but it's hard to get the kids to stick their hand in a bag of worms. Crunchy worms.
Oh. But you know what? That's pretty cool. I'll look that up too and see what they say about that. I love learning all this new information.
Yeah, that's cool. So you got some veggies, you got some eggs. You're all set. You're on your way to self-sufficiency.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
I almost have the coop done. So once that's done, I'll feel a little more at ease about being able to move them out.
Oh, that is cool.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. So Greg was a chef at one time. I mean, I don't know. Do you
hmm
not? I guess you're never not a chef. So you, you're, even though you may not be working in that area. Um, so we like to try to do like some recipes or a drink or something. Any favorite recipe that you would have that would involve something coming out of the garden or coming out of your garden even?
Oh, we've been going kind of simple. We have a bunch of, I can't remember what type they are, but some big Italian like heirloom eggplants.
Oh,
So we made ratatouille one night. We made some pasta with eggplant and basil.
yum.
And then I've been slicing them and frying them. So been
Wow.
kind of going simple lately, kind of rustic.
You can
Let's
so
see.
you can I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Have we fried? Have we done? I don't
We
remember frying them.
haven't, but you can do that.
Okay.
It's very delicious.
Nice.
I'll tell you, Greggy, one of the best pizzas that we ever had was in New York, and it was an egg. It had eggplants on the top and arugula. It was
Yeah,
delicious.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
I like the simple stuff.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, now you have eggs you're going to have pretty soon. You don't yet, but now you'll have some eggs you can throw in the mix for a nice recipe.
yeah, I'm very excited about that. Just walk out in the backyard and go grocery shopping.
There you go.
That's the best part. That is the best part. Yes.
Well, cool.
Have to
Very
agree.
nice.
Well, I along those lines, do you have a favorite in your veggie garden or in your ornamental? Are you an ornamental more gardener or a veggie type gardener? What?
I like the veggies. I like the edible plants.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know why. I just like being able to walk around the yard and grab stuff to eat. I don't think we really have any ornament. Well, we do have a popcorn cassia.
Oh,
That's a pretty cool ornamental plant.
I'm going to have to write that down. I've
Um,
never heard of that.
yeah, it's really cool. It has these big yellow blooms, almost in the shape that a bluebonnet would bloom.
Oh,
But when you rub
wow.
against the leaves, it smells like buttered popcorn.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Is it a tropical plant or do you know if it's
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I'll be
We
making
grabbed
a
it and it
note
was
of
maybe
that.
a foot tall. Yes. Now it's probably 7.5 feet tall, and we've had it maybe like 8 months,
Wow.
7 or 8 months.
Whoa.
Wow. That's cool.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's really cool, and it does. It smells exactly like buttered movie popcorn.
That is crazy.
Oh, that's definitely in the look it up pile.
Yeah, that'd be a good one for everybody to look up and give that one a look to see if that may be something they want in their garden. That I do. I want that in my garden. I like butter. Come on, buttered popcorn. I'm in.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. And so this week, one of the things that's growing in my veggie garden is a Trombocino squash. It's an Italian summer squash, and it's a cucurbita moschata. I think that's how you say it. And I know that Greg grows these in his garden as well because he showed me some that were huge, just huge. It's amazing. I think that the
Yeah,
squash can grow up to 3 feet long. Is that correct?
yeah. We had probably 3 or 4 of them that were 3 feet long last
Wow.
year.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
And then I do believe that your wife showed me, she walked around the yard and she said, they're growing here and they're growing here, and that you didn't plant them. They just started growing, huh?
yeah. I've been kind of on the lookout for another vine popping up. I don't see one yet, but last year we had a vine that went maybe 25 feet across the middle of the yard
Oh,
Wow.
that we
gosh.
didn't plant. We didn't
Wow.
plant it. It just kind of took off.
Wow.
Amazing. Well, I'm very thrilled because I knew that you had a very good um, experience with those squash. So I threw some in this year, and we are having our first one beginning to grow. So I'm looking forward to trying that out in a good recipe. Do you have a favorite recipe for the trombocino? Or is it
I was
rustic?
just, yeah, it was rustic. I was just slicing them into rounds, and
Mm-hmm.
then salt and pepper and roasting them with olive oil. And I mean, they're very good.
Ooh.
They're kind of dense. They don't get mushy when they're cooked.
Oh, I love that.
Um, Very good tasting squash.
They'd be good on the grill too, it sounds like.
Yeah, it does sound like it. That does sound pretty
There you
good.
go.
We need to get Greg back on here more often. He's making me
I know we
hungry.
need to get some. Yeah, we'll get some good recipes. We've been sticking. So, Greg, we've been sticking. I'm pretty basic. I got peppers going. I'm the pepper guy here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been picking them. I have been picking them. I actually put a Instagram post out this morning, and it showed where I had sliced some and put them on a little homemade pizza we made. Some jalapeno peppers,
Mm-hmm.
but the peppers have been growing like crazy. They've been doing really, really well. They're
Daddy's been
fun.
having very good luck with pepperoncinis this year, Greg.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
but it's my limit. I'm kind of limited on my stuff.
Roses and peppers.
Yeah, I'm the roses and peppers guy.
peppers.
And the rest of it is we
But it
leave
sounds
to
like
the.
maybe now a popcorn cassia.
Maybe if it smells like
There you go.
popcorn, buttered popcorn, that's even better. Heck yeah, that sounds great.
So have y'all been getting a lot of rain?
Mm-hmm.
We have.
I think so. I don't know how much it rained last night, but it rained for quite a long time.
It's coming. We're hitting all those storms that are kind of coming through. So we've been. I mean, it's not. We haven't had to water the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting short spurts of a lot of rain.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
yeah.
about you, Greg?
No, we really haven't gotten that much. I was going to ask because my peppers have not been doing great at all. All the seedlings I put in the garden died, and I'm wondering if they just dried out.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, that's unusual for
Yeah, we've
Florida.
had a couple. Yeah, we're not getting those like midday rains. We're not really getting that much rain.
Interesting.
Wow. I will do a little bit of research on it. I know that this has been a couple of years back now. We went to a community garden that was located in a school in East Austin, and they had some drip lines that they were running through their peppers. Their plants were very robust, and they didn't water a lot of the garden, but they did water the peppers a few minutes every day. And they said that was the key for them. So at 109 degrees for the peppers to still be putting on fruit, that sounds pretty good. And they had, of course, they had shade in the afternoon. I don't know if you were able to have any shade. But it's probably not that hot there this year, is it?
Oh, it feels hot. I'm outside right now. It feels hot to me.
Okay.
Well, hey, that's awesome, Greg. We appreciate you joining us and
Thank
updating
you.
us on the. I'm really interested in this natural aquarium, especially if I can throw some frogs in there.
I know.
Very much
know.
so. That would actually be pretty cool to put together. And
So-
your chickens, we're excited about your chickens as well.
Very much. I did want to ask you, how long did it take you from the idea of having the natural aquarium till you worked up the courage to put it all together? How long do you think you thought about it?
Not very long.
Oh.
I found the aquarium on Marketplace, and I went and picked it up. And then I was looking up what fish I should get that would be fun, and I found fatherfish, and I found out about natural aquariums, and I ordered the substrate from him.
That's
So I had to
cool.
scramble and make a stand for the aquarium because
I like the way you
for
say
not long.
that you made the stand. That just shows you do have some really crazy good woodworking skills too, which I
Yeah,
appreciate.
it was fun.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Greg, you have anything else for us today?
I don't think so. I'm sure I can give you guys more updates in a couple weeks when I have big raptor chickens and more vegetables.
That'll be awesome. I would look forward to having you back on as another guest.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Yeah, we'll definitely get some updates on all your stuff. And if we go down the line of the Natural Aquarium, then we can have that conversation with you too and compare notes with you. See how it's doing.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Greg, would it be okay with you if we shared a picture of your natural aquarium on our blog?
Of course. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds great.
Great. That'd be
That'd be really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, definitely. We'll put it on the blog. Maybe we'll throw it out there on Facebook and Instagram and kind of show everybody what we're talking about. Very cool.
Very cool.
Well, Mary, do you have
Wow.
anything else
Thank
today?
you very much, Greg. I think I am all out of this week's ideas.
I think I'm done. Greg, thanks again for joining us. And
Yeah, thank you guys. It was fun.
Yeah. And we hope to see everybody back here again next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next week, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary. Happy gardening.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.